series is called Mongrel Nation, and in it we will celebrate over 2,000 years of English history. Waves of invasion, centuries of immigration, and floods of foreign ideas that have come into our land to make us who we are, not despite foreigners, but because of them. From the English language to our currency, from the Houses of Parliament to the Sunday roast, from the aristocracy to St. George and his flag. Most things we think of as quintessentially English actually come from abroad. The first people to really settle in England were the Celts. They arrived in about 2500 BC, around lunchtime. England was all theirs until the 1st century AD, and they could be defined as the true original English. But few remnants of their culture have survived today. We don't eat their food, speak their language, or worship their gods. Even the people have changed. Today, more than 95% of the English have foreign ancestry. No other major European nation has as dynamic and vibrant a mix of foreign genes. The story of this mongrel nation is a rich and surprising one that began just over 2,000 years ago with the arrival of the Romans. Now, the Romans invaded in the 1st century AD, and they were the first of 4 different sets of invaders. First you had the Romans, they all came in, and then they went away again. And then you had the Angles and the Saxons, they came in, they stayed. And then there was the Norwegians and the Danes, they came in, they stayed. And then there were the French, who we call the Normans. And they all brought with them a different way of living, which affected England at the time and has stayed with us in England in different ways up to the present day. The Romans invaded 43 AD, Emperor Claudius sent his armies in, and they didn't just bring death with them, they brought a whole new way of life. The Romans were a lean, mean imperial machine. They controlled most of the known world, and when they invaded, England became the farthest outpost of an empire that stretched from Northumbria to North Africa and all around the Mediterranean.
There would also have been, besides the legions, which numbered about 5,000, 6,000 men each, there would have been a large number of so-called auxiliary troops, and would have supplied the cavalry and specialist troops like that.
But the England the Romans invaded was a place devoid of anything we'd recognize as English. Most Celts didn't even have currency. Without coins, many people relied on a system known as barter. They had to buy and sell things not by exchanging money, but by exchanging possessions. So it's lunchtime, you're a Celt, and you've got no money, because it doesn't exist. So how do you get your lunch? You have to do barter. You have to barter for things. You have to find what you've got and see if you can swap it for your food. Bacon roll.
In a bun?
In a bun, please.
Yeah.
But I haven't got any money.
Right.
So I can barter with you. I've got stuff in my bag that maybe, you know, today's newspaper.
No, not really, thank you.
Well, if I put it with a diary, because then you can keep dates.
No, I'll tell you what, you get me some onions, because I'm virtually out of onions.
All right.
If you can get some onions for me.
All right, I'll try and do that.
I'll do you a swap.
Okay,
some onions for bacon
I'll
roll.
See if I can swap some of this with Onion Man. Okay,
okay.
I'll be back. I want to get some onions.
Yeah.
But I haven't got any money. But I've got a lot of stuff in my bag. Is there...
Yeah, you've been shoplifting again, haven't you? I've seen your type.
No, I haven't. No. Is there anything in here that you'd like? One of these things where you keep your dates and your diaries? Some water? I've got some water. No. What do you need?
Socks is what I'm after.
All right, I'll come back. I'm trying to get some socks. I've got no money. I've got a book on the film industry in the 60s and 70s. Really
I could do with a new frying pan.
That's a pretty good swap, actually, for socks. They might be bloody good socks.
They are, they're excellent.
For a frying pan. Water plus a file of fags. You want the book?
Yeah, this one here.
I can go for this baby?
By all means, have that baby. But I've got a good deal on that, I think.
Right, I've been to 4 stalls and ended up with a frying pan. So now I've got to go back up the chain to get a bacon roll. frying pan.
Fry pan.
Socks of my choice.
I would take those, they're the warmest ones.
Oh yes, very nice.
Thermals, are they thermals? Yeah, I wanted thermals.
Very good. Keep you warm.
Yeah, and what did you want?
Onion.
I've sold out now, mate.
No, you've got some here.
Oh, look, I've just seen some over there. Yeah, already.
Bloody
You're a
hell.
good man. Can you manage that?
Yeah, fine. I've got onions. I've got more onions than I've expected.
Oh, right.
So this barter system, 4 different things like this, swap and come back with onions just to get a bacon roll. And it takes forever. It takes too long.
There we go. 1 bacon roll as promised.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Wow. So that took me about half an hour. With currency, you'd get that in 30 seconds. A lot quicker. Which is why a common coinage was one of the most important things the Romans introduced. But it wasn't any old currency. It came to be seen as a key symbol of England and Englishness. Now we know that the Romans brought with them roads, aqueducts, fresh